Alright, so we're live from Ayers Greenhouses in Bad Axe. We're officially open. We're going to do that tour video that, sorry we couldn't do it a couple days ago, but we're going to try and do it now. So Penny's going to go through and explain everything.
Alright, so welcome to another greenhouse season. Right to our side here we have spikes. There's just the regular green spikes that work well for the back of a planter or the center of a planter. Down this row you're going to see several different colors of sweet potato vine. So each one of them is going to have a slightly different leaf. Some of them are heart shaped, some of them are maple leaf shaped, and some of them are more thread-like pointed. So here we have the heart shaped ones in various different colors. This blackie has got the maple leaf shape. Tricolor is more the same. This is new this year. Okay, so this is a new variety. This one is Sweet Georgia Pulse Black, which has got a really deep blackish tone to it, a little different shade than some of the others. The Margarita, most aggressive, very, very large. The only thing you have to watch with that is it can take over, but they do, you can trim them back however you want to try to control it, but it gets pretty big. Another one here in that bronze red color, maple leaf style, and this is that smaller, more thread-like one. It's called Emerald Lace. Now in this area here we have the foliage plant called Coleus. These first few that we have here are actually a trailing coleus, so it will grow upright and also down. So we have the lime color and the dark leaf in that. And then from there we just have various different kinds. This is a new one in the Under the Sea collection. This one's called Barracuda, which is kind of cool with all the little ruffled leaves that it has. This is another one part of that collection with the ruffled leaves. Super cool. Coleus, some of them can tolerate the sun, but a lot of times they like to have shade or part shade, preferably, and not the hot day sun. If they're in the sun a lot, it will fade their color. They get much more vibrant colors when you have Coleus if it is in a more shadier area. But lots of different ones to choose from, as you can see. And they can really add a pop to a planter. They usually get pretty tall. So then we have Heliotrope. Smells like vanilla and also has this beautiful purple flower on it. If you walk by this, it will grab your attention, just the smell of it as you walk by. Then we have the Bacopa, the snowstorm. This needs to have sun in order to flower, but it doesn't like to have hot, burning all day, really hot, intense sun. It'll kind of make it kind of shrivel up, especially later in the summer. So a part sun environment is really what's best for it. We do have a new type of diamond frost, or euphorbia. This has a darker leaf to it with a pinker flower, so that's new. It's called Star Blast Pink Euphorbia. And then of course we have the regular diamond frost, which really is pretty when you add it in with other plants. It really kind of pops. I'll set it next to this hanging basket so you can see it next to something, and just kind of looks almost like baby's breath when you put it in with something. So that's a nice little kind of filler plant to put in with things. On this table here we have various different succulents. Again, several different hens and chicks. This is kind of new this year. We did, this is String of Pearls, this little succulent. These can be grown in the house or outside, but they're not hardy if you leave them outside. We did grow some of the giant hens and chicks this year, so we've got some really big varieties of that. So that's kind of new. This is Lemon Coral Sedum, which is a trailer. This is Angel Wings here. This will get nice and big. It's really a nice big plant to go in the center or the back of a planter and add a little pop of a different texture to a plant. Now this is the popcorn cassia plant. We have not had this for several years. I was not able to get this, and this year we were able to grow it, so I'm really excited about that. It gets really large, up to about 3 or 4 feet high. It likes part sun to full sun, and it has nice big yellow flowers that come out on it, and it smells like buttered popcorn. It smells amazing. These leaves will actually fold up at night and then flatten back out in the daytime. It's almost tropical looking, so really cool plant to have. This plant here is the licorice plant. And then down this whole row here, we have the nonstop tuberous begonias, all different colors. These have to be in the shade. They do not like the sun. Their leaves will burn up if you give them too much sun. They don't like to have a lot of water. So sometimes people will overwater and cause them to rot. So they like it a little bit more on the drier side and in the shade. But they give beautiful, huge flowers. We have all different colors. Some of them come in a darker leaf as well. Down here, this pink one. Now on this side over here, we have the Creeping Jenny. And this is actually perennial in our zone, but we use it in annual plantings and planters. You actually have to kind of watch this not to let it get in your lawn because it's hard to get rid of if you do. So it will come back even in your grass. So you want to kind of contain it in your planters and not let it grow wild unless you want it growing somewhere like that. This here is going to be our New Guinea impatiens. In through here we have all different colors. They're not quite flowered yet, but we have, you know, in all the different pinks and magenta colors, reds, oranges, salmon colors, all different kinds of those. Those are for shade also. They like to have maybe a little bit of sun, but not the hot day sun. Next, we have dragon wing begonias. These get really tall. They have a different shaped leaf than the regular nonstop tuberous begonias, and they will trail a little bit as well. And the flower is also different. It's a cluster of smaller flowers here. This year, this is the red one, and it has a darker foliage to it, the one we have this year. And then the next one here is the dragon wing pink, and that has the green leaf foliage. So in through here, any of these begonias that you're seeing right now can go in sun or shade. So they're a little bit different. This one we first grew last year called Stonehenge in this kind of rosy pink color. These actually can get, they say, up to 4 feet high. I planted some and didn't really baby it too much. I just kind of let it be, so it probably could have gotten a lot bigger than what I let it get, but mine was at least 2 feet high. So it does get pretty big. This one is the Purple Queen Sequoia. This is a really cool plant. It gets long shoots that come out in all different directions with this almost succulent looking leaf in this purple color. It gets a very small little purple flower on it. Then we have our dahlias. These are going to need some sun, nice big flowers, some beautiful colors. This one is really pretty this year with this red and white. And here's another one of it too, just to see it in a bigger one. So pretty. Mm-hmm. And then we have it in purples, reds, yellows. Here's another one here with the purple on the outside and the yellow center. This is a lotus vine, also nicknamed parrot's-beak. It's the reason why it's nicknamed parrot's-beak is because it gets a little flower on it that looks almost like a beak that's red. That's where it kind of gets its name from. But it's going to be a trailer. It kind of fills in. This is Alternanthera, or it's nicknamed Joseph's coat, and it has all this variegated color to it. It will get about 12 to 15 inches high and spread. So that's just kind of colorful. This is like the white licorice plant, only it's an icicle version, and it stays bushy. It doesn't trail and spread like the white licorice does. Now this one is also the silver color. This is Silver Falls, and as you can see, it really trails down long. This can be trimmed back as much as you need it to be. And it's labeled for full sun, but I will tell you that we have planted it before with begonias for customers, and it did actually very well in a shadier situation too, as they reported back to us. So you can kind of put it in various different places.
Go back and forth because these are mostly...
Okay, and back here we have Lamium, kind of more of a silvery foliage with this really pretty purple. This is actually a perennial in the zone also. So if you, I'm just going to pop one of these out so you can see it kind of by itself. It will create kind of a mound of that color, and then it gets the purple flower on it. So that can be a nice little border in front of your flower beds or wherever, but it can be planted in a planter as well. many different colors of sun patience. We have them on both sides here. The sun patient does have to have sunlight. It looks just like the New Guinean patient, but these do not thrive well if you don't give them at least 4 hours of sun. They will get taller than the regular New Guinean patients usually too. Now on this side we have the Mizu vine. This is also very succulent looking, does very well in shadier areas, but can be put in full sun as well, and it's a trailer. It'll get a small little like reddish pink flower on it, but it's mostly a foliage plant. So it grows really well up by the lake, up in that type of environment where you have a lot of shady areas or part sun, part shade. This is just another look at those surefire begonias that get nice and tall and big that can go in the sun as well as shade. Now on this side we have Perilla. It's a tricolor Perilla plant, and this will get very, very tall. It looks like Coleus, but it is slightly different, and it gets taller than most Coleuses do. This one is Irisin Bloodleaf, and love this plant. It actually can go in full sun. However, I have planted it in shade plants, and it does very well in the shade as well, just doesn't get quite as big. So you can put this in a lot of shade applications as well, even though the tag says sun. Sometimes when we experiment with things, we find little tricks to different plants that the tags don't say. So just passing a little bit of that along to you. This is a variegated version of the same plant, okay? Does not flower, just grown for foliage. On this side here, we have our trailing Tarina, and this gets really nice and long. And let me see, we've got one in a hanging basket here, so you can see what the flower looks like. This is a shade or part shade, nothing but morning sun. Hummingbirds absolutely love this plant. They will flock to it, even though it's not red, they're blue, but they love it. And so that's a great one for shade if you want a trailer. This is Beralia, another shade-loving plant, and not in bloom right now, but it's blue. It's an upright. It's 12 to 16 inches high. Here we have some fuchsias, just like in the fuchsia hanging baskets, but we have them in individual pots. So those are a shade-loving plant as well, or just part sun, morning sun. So you can put some of those in your planters for your shade applications as well. This is a basket of one of the fuchsias, so you can kind of see what that fuchsia flower looks like. Okay. The ones we have in pots are the dark red and purple color, though most of them are. This is a lighter version here, and but we do have all different colors of them in hanging baskets. Next we have, this is our Creeping Jenny, like we showed you earlier in the video. This is going to be a darker leaf version of the same thing. So it's going to have a similar pattern to it. It'll trail down. And this also you can put in a sunnier application to part shade. It gets a little bit of a yellow flower on it, if you look at the tag there. Okay. But any of this Creeping Jenny, either variety of it, works really well in a shady application. On this side here, we have the autumn nail fuchsia, and it's grown mostly for its foliage. It gets these really cool autumn-like looking color tones that are in here. And it gets a small flower on it, but like I said, it's mostly the foliage that people really enjoy about that plant. Next, we have the polka dot plant in the 4-packs or flats. We have 3 colors. We have the rose color, we have the red color, and we have the white. These are for shade, not for sun. They won't like a lot of sun. They get kind of bushy, not real big, so just probably about maybe like this big around, and about maybe like this tall, if you can see in my hands here. But they're really nice to put in between plants in a shade planter to kind of fill space, especially as they're growing early on. And just, it adds some really nice texture when you put these colors next to something else. Just even if I set it next to this coleus leaf here, you can see how the speckles in it just kind of pop against the other color. So it really can be quite showy, just mixing just a little bit of it in. And again, these are coleus flats. We do have coleus in flats by the 4-pack as well, okay? And so that's gonna do it for our more shadier greenhouse. This next one that we're going in here is our perennial greenhouse. And here on the pallets, we have some of our hibiscus growing. These flowers get huge, very, very large dinner plate size flowers on them. The hummingbirds also really like these. We have the darker foliage red ones and then the lighter green foliage pink ones that are from Proven Winners. So kind of throughout here, Crystal's going to kind of show you, kind of going slow through here, some of the different things that we have. We have the sedum here on the side here, some of the daylilies just starting to come up here, blanket flower, the ice plant. This is a nice ground cover one. We have the Elijah Blue grass. Then in through here, we're going to have all different kinds of echinacea here. The cone flowers, oranges, reds, pinks, variegated, all different kinds, several different colors of these just starting to flower.
There's a mix here too.
Yeah, that comes out variegated, the Cheyenne Spirit. Then we have the blue-eyed grass, black-eyed Susans. We have some anemones, Russian sage. We have foxglove and lavender. We have coreopsis, the thread leaf, and the other type of coreopsis too, 2 different colors here. And in the back here, we have the agastacia. This is going to be, or hyssop. It's going to be a deterrent for deer. They do not like the smell of this, so they don't like to go really anywhere near this. So that kind of helps keep the deer away if you plant that around some areas. Down the middle here, we have a couple different types of clematis. We also have Rose of Sharon. And we do, this is the first year we grew these from Proven Winners. We do have a few boxwood shrubs here. Now down the middle here, we're going to have all different kinds of hydrangeas, all different colors, all different sizes. The hydrangeas range anywhere from 1 to 3 feet, all the way up to 6 to 8 feet that they can grow, depending on the variety that you pick out. So when you come in and shop for hydrangeas, make sure you're checking your tags to see. The tags are really good about showing you how tall they're going to get. They give you all the information on them. So make sure you check those tags that you're getting the right size hydrangea, because like I said, they can really range anywhere from that 1 to 3 all the way up to 6 to 8 feet, and you don't want to get the wrong one in the wrong spot. Now some of these also, if you change the pH level of your soil by making it more acidic, you can change the color of the flower either from blue to pink. Here we have some of the butterfly bushes, a couple different colors. We have tall garden phlox growing in through this area. Up ahead we have the silver mound, which is going to be just like your silvery mound. And then we have hollyhock mallow here and allium up here. It's an ornamental onion in the front here. Over on this side, we have some plants that are a little bit shadier ones here. We have the different corabells, different colors of that. Now, this is bee balm, a big hummingbird attractor. So we have a couple different colors of that, actually 3 different colors of that. We have some blue delphiniums here, red lupines, and some bleeding heart plants. Here we have some different colors of astilbe. That's going to be more shade loving or morning sun. And some different kinds of hostas. Now these 3 hostas that we grew this year are different than what we've ever grown before. So if you do collect hostas, you might want to stop in and check them out if you haven't had these varieties before. This one here in the front is called Big Daddy. This one I think is super cool. This is called Party Streamers. And this Proven Winners one is called Hope Springs Eternal, which, as you can tell, is one of the giant ones. Here we have the Cat's Pajamas catnip in the smaller pots. And these are just more flats here of our polka dot plant. And then, as you can see, we have lots of different varieties of coleus that are mixes that are in flats. You can buy them by the flat or the 4-packs. We also have that Tarina plant that was for shade that the hummingbirds really like, also in bedding plant Tarina. These are mixed colors, and they stay probably only about 6 to 8 inches high and just spread maybe about 4 or 5 inches around. So they're another one you can kind of tuck in around other plants for your shade planters and your flower beds that are shady. And that's pretty much going to do it for this greenhouse. Crystal can show you some of the baskets as we're walking out of here.
A lot of new combinations this year. These are all 10-inch baskets. That black mamba again. A lot of pretty combinations. Here's that banana candy that was in the basket of the day today. It's mixed with a crazy tuna. There's that banana candy again with the crazy tuna. All right, we're gonna go to number 3.
So in this greenhouse, we have our vegetables and we also have our seeds. So we have a variety of seed potatoes this year. We have the Superior White potatoes. We have a couple different red potatoes, the red Pontiac and also another red one here. We have the Oneida Gold ones. Oh, here's the other red one down here, the red Lesota. So those are going to be our different potatoes that we have. We also have the yellow Strutgarter onion sets. Those are an heirloom onion. And then we have various different seeds too. We have a couple different types of carrot seed. We have radish seeds. We have the beet seed. We have cucumber straight 8 seed, dill seed. And we have the bicolor ambrosia sweet corn. We also have asparagus root. Over here we have seeds in the middle here too, where we have various different pea seeds. We have the little marble, the green arrow, and the sugar and snap. For our other beans, we have the yellow beans. So we have the Cherokee wax beans. And we have the Kentucky Wonder pole beans. So these do have to have like something to climb. Then these are going to be the bush beans here. We have Slenderette. We have Contender. Contender is new for us this year. On the other side here, we are going to have Tender Green and Jade as well for those bush beans, and another one of the yellow ones here, which is the Pencil Pod. Up here we have 3 different varieties of sunflowers. Each one is kind of its own unique look. So we have the Dwarfs Sunspot. We have this Autumn Beauty, which is really pretty. And then we have the black oil sunflower. That's a really large one. Okay, so those are going to be our seeds. Now, as far as our other vegetables, we have the late flat Dutch cabbage and then the stonehead cabbage. We also have the cauliflower. We have Brussels sprouts. We have kohlrabi. We have eggplant and celery and broccoli. And then for our peppers, we are going to have habanero And jalapeno, we're going to have the cayenne, we're going to have serrano and super chili. Those are going to be all of our hot ones. Then we have for our green ones, we have California Wonder and we have the Baron Red. And then we also have the yellow sweet banana. Those are the only sweet peppers. Unfortunately, this year we're not going to be able to offer the orange or the yellow bell peppers this year, but hopefully next year we'll have those back again. So for our tomatoes, we offer the tomatoes in 4-packs like this, or we also have our different varieties in a single larger pot, a 4-inch pot, where you can get just one tomato by themselves if you want. Otherwise, you either have to purchase them in singles, single pots, or the whole 4-pack, or you can mix and match flats of flowers and vegetables. Our flowers and vegetable flats are $19.99 this year. That is for a flat of 48 plants. We do still plant all of our trays are 48 plants in a tray, so you get 12 4-packs. So if you do price shop, make sure you check that, because most places do either 24 plants in a flat or 36 for their pricing. So if you're comparing, make sure you know that these are 48s. So we have several different kinds. We have Beef Master, we have Beef Steak, we have Better Boy, Big Boy, Candyland. This is a cherry tomato. This is new. We haven't grown this one before, so I'm kind of excited about that one. We have Celebrity. Celebrity is a really good one to be disease resistant. They use this a lot down south in a lot of tomato farms. Just a little tidbit on that one. Then we have Champion, and we have Early Girl. Early Girl is going to be your earliest tomato, right around 50 to 60 days, and you can use it for anything. So Early Girl is definitely our most popular one because it's a nice average size tomato that you can use for everything, and you get it early. Next we have Jetstar. Jetstar tends to be a little bit lower acid than some of the others. The large cherry red, so this is going to be your cherry tomato, but it's a little bit bigger size. And then we have the La Roma tomatoes. Those are our Roma tomato. Those are really good for salsa and canning and different things. Then we have the Rutgers. A Rutgers is an heirloom tomato that's really good for canning, that has been around for a very long time. Then the super sweet 100s are going to be your red, smaller sweet cherry tomatoes. Then we have Wisconsin, which Crystal did feature already on our website, which is another heirloom tomato, which is a really nice one. And then the Sun Sugar, which is going to be your kind of like goldish orange colored ones that are super sweet of the cherry tomatoes. Now, these are going to be the herbs that we have this year. We do unfortunately have a couple herbs that we normally grow that we have missing. We don't have thyme this year, and we don't have marjoram this year. But the things that we do have are sage. We have the plain Italian parsley. We have rosemary. We have fernleaf dill. We have lemon basil. That's one that we don't always have, but we do have some this year. We have Italian oregano. We have some small pots of lavender. We have curled parsley. We have peppermint. And we have cilantro. And we have your regular large leaf basil, sweet basil. Now on this table here, you will see that we have individual pots of all of the different tomatoes that we have, and there's a few tomatoes that we only have available in the single pots because the seed is really expensive. We can only sell them as individuals. So one of those is going to be the Juliet grape. So those are only sold in individual pots. The individual pots for herbs and vegetables are $2.99 for the individual ones. Another one that's only in individual ones is the Cherokee Purple. That's an heirloom tomato. So those are in singles. And the Lemon Boy is also only in singles. This is going to be your larger yellow tomatoes. Not the little cherry ones, but the larger normal size tomato. And your Lemon Boys are going to be lower acid. And then remember, the lower acid tomato that's a red one, if you need to have lower acid tomatoes for your diet, is Jetstar. So you might want to keep that one in mind if you have that need in your diet. But all the rest of these peppers and tomatoes that you see here are all a few individual ones that we have of all the other varieties, so you can buy them either way. In here we have all of our flats of petunias. These are going to be your regular bedding plant petunias that are in 4-packs. And again, the price on all of our flowers or vegetables in those flats is $19.99 or $1.79 for a 4-pack. Okay. If you buy it by the flat, it ends up saving you, I think, maybe somewhere around $1.50, $2 or so, if you buy a whole flat of stuff. Okay. And then we also have lots of wax begonias. Now these can go in sun or shade. I personally have found these to be the key in front of my house because we have a north side of the front of our house where I have the west corner that gets a lot of sun late in the day, and the other side of that same flower bed gets almost no sun at all. And these are the magic plant for that because they'll grow the same all the way across, and they don't care if they have sun or shade, they grow in both. So they're the key for a situation like that if you have something just like I do. So we have them as mixes. We have them in green leaf and also in the dark leaf. And you can get them in all different colors, from white, reds, oranges, pinks, rose colors. Those are your main colors of wax begonias. And again, we have lots of different colors of petunias. Several hundred flats of those. And that's our number 3 greenhouse. And in each one of these greenhouses, we have different hanging baskets. So there's about 1,200 10-inch baskets and 250 12-inch baskets. So we have a lot to choose from. These are going to be our bamboo hoop planters. They're going to feature, again, the Black-Eyed Susan vine. In the yellow. This is very aggressive. It will climb up here. By next week, it'll probably be covering completely on these bamboo hoops already. They have various different colors of super petunias, the trailing petunias that are planted with them. So these planters get really big. On the other side over here, excuse me, we have the Lawful-Spermum, the red wine color. And as this comes out, the bud looks like a tube of lipstick, which is really cool looking. And then as it opens up, you have this really beautiful trumpet flower. And this is a vine that climbs up again also, and it'll completely cover this trellis. Both of these varieties are going to need at least 4 to 6 hours of sunlight, if not all day sun. This greenhouse here, everything in it is going to want sun. So everything in here is going to need at least 4 to 6 hours of sunlight a day to make it happy, okay? Some of it needs to have all day sun, and the Portulaca, the moss rose, is one of those. This is a short growing plant that will thrive in sandy soil, low moisture if it so be, and needs full sun. This closes up at night and opens up in the morning when the sunshine comes out. If it's a cloudy day, it'll only partially open. So full of color, beautiful colors, and just kind of thrives and does its thing in those hot sandy areas.
It's in baskets as well.
Yes, the basket varieties though that we have are a trailing version. We have these in individual pots that you can buy to put in your planters. So if you have a spot that you just can't get anything to grow because it's so hot, and you need something like a hanging basket that you just can't seem to keep watered enough for the amount of sunlight and heat that you have, you really should try one of these because they're not beds. Here is going to be dahlias, the smaller dahlias in 4-packs. We have Dusty Miller, and then down this whole row here we have all kinds of marigolds that are in full bloom right now that are absolutely beautiful. All different kinds, different heights, different size heads on them. Some of them are mixes. This is one of my favorite because it's such a bright orange. It's called Bonanza Deep Orange. And this one is really bright and showy too. It's a really nice, pretty yellow. And marigolds are nice too to plant in the garden around your tomato plants too, because it does help to keep tomato worms away too if you do that as well. In the back here down the middle we have celosia. We have the coxcomb celosia. And as this flower grows, it'll get much larger, but it has like that comb shape. And then the other is going to have a plume shape instead. So these other ones are purple, and then we have the mix here of different colors. That's going to be celosia. This is the melopodium, and it gets this cute little yellow flower. It's pretty big, pretty bushy, full sun. The argyratum in blue. We have, this is going to be lobelia. This lobelia can take part shade to full sun. I wouldn't give it hot sun though. The cosmos, always so pretty and fragrant. We have that in mixed variety. We have mixed colors of the gazanias. They don't flower yet. The flowers don't come out on that in the greenhouse for probably another week or two. They look like miniature sunflowers though. They don't grow very tall. Only 8 to 10 inches, but the flower looks a lot like a sunflower, so they're really pretty. This is another one that closes up at night and opens up in the daytime when the sun is shining. So we have different snapdragons. This year we did grow some more varieties of just like all one color in the flats or the 4-packs. So we have orange, we have this red and yellow bicolor, and then we have the Liberty mix, which is kind of a medium height. We have the dwarf ones in the yellow, and then also mixes of the dwarf as well. This year we have stock growing. We haven't grown this for quite a while, but they are absolutely gorgeous right now. So we do have kind of a limited supply here. I think we only have about 8 flats of this, but it is truly beautiful. This is Gomphrenia. We have 2 different varieties. Same color, one just grows taller than the other. And we have some mixed colors of bedding plant verbena that just grows upright. Next we have vinca. This is another one that will grow in full sun, needs to have full sun, and a little bit, not as wet, so a little bit more on the drier side, so it's a little bit more drought tolerant, but needs to have full sun. Sometimes this gets mistaken for an impatient plant, which needs shade. It's not impatient, it's the opposite. It's vinca and it needs sun. So we have several different colors of that. Now here on this other side, another fragrant corner that we have these cute little violas in the mix on the end here. Some people call them baby pansies that are so cute. And then we have all these beautiful colors here of these different mixes, and we do have some solid 4-packs of various colors too, and the berry color there, a blotch mix, and we do have this clear orange color as well this year. This red flower we also have in hanging baskets. It's called Nicotina, and sometimes it's referred to as the hummingbird plant, and obviously hummingbirds are attracted to that. Next we have salvia. We have a couple different varieties, heights of red and then also purple in the 4-packs here, and then we have the Victoria blue salvia. We also have larger salvia plants that are in individual pots that you'll see later. Our zinnias are starting to bloom. We have some of the larger varieties here of the Dreamland mix. And then we have the Perfusion, various different mixes as well. We also have Zahara mix in the zinnias. Next we have Dianthus. Now some of these it's kind of hard to tell because it's early and they're not flowered yet. But the Dianthus, this is an annual Dianthus in here, not the perennial version. Also, sometimes these end up being biannual where you'll get them to come back the next year, but we sell it as an annual. Here we have Alyssum. We have it in white and in the violet. And we have some more of our wax begonias in this section here. And then, of course, we have more hanging baskets in this one. Just see to your right there in that sky blue, that was lobelia baskets there by themselves. And then several more of our combination planters in here. Coming up to some lantana baskets here. That needs full sun. Deer do not like lantana either. Plant lantana in your planters. It helps to keep the deer away from them.
Number 7.
The next one we're going to go into is number 7. This is our geranium greenhouse. We do have other things in here as well, but this is where all of our geraniums are. So all of our geraniums, we go through a process where we take the heads off of them, and it promotes multiple blooms all at once for when you guys get them here. So as you can see, it's a lot of green down this whole middle of this greenhouse. These are all geraniums. They're just starting to get all their heads back on after we have taken them off. So we have lots of different colors of those, a couple thousand of them to choose from. Over here, we have the cordyline, which is a red spike-like type plant. Works really nice for the center of a planter or in the back part of a planter to add some foliage. Then we have some really nice penstemon grasses here. These are annual grasses. These do not come back every year. So this is just for this season, but they grow really large. This is a fireworks grass. All of the different grasses that we have here, this is probably one of the smaller varieties of them, but it still does get really big. This is 24 to 30 inches high. And the leaves will come out variegated between the green and the pink and the burgundy tones in it. This one is new for us this year. It's called Skyrocket. And I can tell that it's going to have a similar growth to that fireworks grass, where it isn't quite as large and aggressive as some of the other ones that we have. But really cool, this light foliage mixed in with some other things, especially some darker plants, would really be gorgeous. This is the Vertigo. This is definitely the largest, most aggressive grass. So sometimes this can take over, so it works really good to have it in a pot by itself, or leave lots of room for anything you might want to put around the outside edge of it. This can actually grow 4 feet. It's going to be 4 feet up to 96 inches. So it is huge. And it's really showy to plant it in the ground too and just have it be like a huge mound of this beautiful burgundy dark colored chocolate. It's more almost chocolatey looking grass. Now this is your traditional purple fountain grass that's been around for a long time. Kind of more nice medium height. This one is going to be 30 to 36. So this is much more controllable if you're putting it in a planter with a lot of other things, along with the fireworks grass that I showed you earlier. Next we have Persian Shield, and you can put this in all different applications, all different settings. I have used it in a little bit shadier area, and then it can go in full sun. And it can get really large. It tends to get as big as you give it room for. So if you plant it in a planter and you squeeze it with a lot of plants around it, you're probably not going to see it really stretch out and get as big as what it might otherwise. And that's fine. It just depends on what you want to come out of the plant. If you want it to get really, really tall and stretch out and go in many different directions, then make sure you leave a little space around it to give it room to get those shoots coming out so that it can take off above everything else. But this can get really large if given the space. You can plant it by itself, or you can plant it in with other things. And that's why it has such a range in size, anywhere from 18 to 36 inches. So if you crowd it, you're going to keep it small. Otherwise, if you give it lots of space, it's going to get big. It's a beautiful plant. We have mosquito plants. Help keep the mosquitoes away. And lots of spikes. Here we have lemongrass. This also gets really big. This helps to keep mosquitoes away too. This is a new one for us this year, the Juncus grass. And this is kind of more of a medium height grower too, 18 to 36 as well. It has these really cool like curls in it. So it's quite cool looking in a planter. Next we have cannas. These get really large, very showy. And we have the mango color, and we also have yellow, and we have some bronze orange here. We have lots of different combination baskets in here as well, as you can see, as she's kind of spanning through here. Each one has different ones to choose from. Back here we have our verbena. This is different than the verbena you saw in the little 4-packs. These are very large plants, and as they take off, they go in all different directions. They trail really long. They'll spread on the ground, and these will also take root places if you have them in the ground to kind of spread along the ground. or they'll spread across the pot. Wherever they're touching the dirt, they'll kind of root. So you can kind of put even one of these on one side of a planter and have it shoot out the other side too. So if you want to have it coming out all different directions but don't have room for more than one of them in a pot, that works well because it will shoot out in all different directions. We have lots of colors of this. This is a new one this year. This really, really deep, dark purple color. This one is called Black Velvet. The Bright Eye is a popular one that we have every year. This one is called Hot Lips. We have another new one, and I think a customer just got done taking the only one that we had that was flowered. But it's called Lascar Vampire, and it's just a deep, dark, velvety red, really deep, dark red. And then we have white and the regular red, and then the Peachy Keen comes out variegated peach colors. This is one of Proven Winner's best-selling colors here. This Snowburst, or Stormburst, I'm sorry. And then we have the raspberry. And this amethyst here, which is a beautiful combination in the same plant here of all these different color shades of purple. So down here, we're going to have our asparagus fern in here. And this greenhouse by our geraniums is where we have most of our vines. Oh, right here, we also have some Dipladena, which is a very tropical looking plant. And so we have some red ones of that. But here we have asparagus root. We have a couple different kinds of vinca vine here, the Wojo's gem and the variegated. Then we have some Hedera English ivies. We have the needlepoint, golden child, white ripple, glacier, and I don't know if I already said it or not, this one is golden child. And then on the end down here, we do have some ivy geraniums. We have these in hanging baskets as well, but the ivy geraniums are going to have more of a waxy leaf feel to them, and they are trailing. So that's going to be it for this particular greenhouse. Come in here in a week and you'll see all kinds of giant geranium heads out there. Now this greenhouse, the last one here, these are going to be sun-loving plants that are going to be in here. Right here in the front, as we first come in though, we have our strawberry plants. 3 different kinds of ever-bearing strawberries. Ever-bearing means they're going to keep blooming throughout the summer and producing strawberries. The June bearing on the end, the All-Star, are your traditional Michigan berry that we have just in June. So they're going to just produce once. The other ones are going to produce continuously throughout. Now, in this greenhouse here...
We also have rhubarb right here,
yes,
too.
I'm sorry. Yeah, we have the Victoria rhubarb plants here that are really liking their spot there. Now, in this row here, we have all different kinds of petunias in the pots. These are going to be different than your bedding plant petunias. Each one of these plants will spread out in all different directions. Each color and type can have its own growth pattern. So when you come in, if you have specific needs, feel free to ask us how each one of them grows, and to the best of our ability, we'll try to tell you that. Certain varieties tend to be really, stretching out and trailing really long, like your Supertunias. Some of those colors of the Vistas can get, 3 or 4 feet long, and they can grow up to 14 to 16 inches high, some of them, where some of the other ones are going to be shorter, more like only 6 to 10 inches high, and they're going to stay more compact and just be spreading to be maybe about 12 or 18 inches around. So depending on the type, the color, each one has their own growth pattern. So we'll just kind of walk through here so you can kind of see some of the different colors that we have here. This is a new one here for us. This is called Citrus Hill. This one's always popular. This is Raspberry Lemonade. I think this was featured in one of the baskets yesterday or today. This one back here is a new one for us. This one's called Lovey Dovey. This one over here is the giant pink Supertunia. Huge flower, just massive color.
That was in yesterday, or no, I'm sorry, that was in today's basket.
Some of the petunia flowers, as you can see here, grow larger than others. The Cascadia series from Master Young get very large, not quite as big as that giant pink, but pretty close. And those have a really nice stretching and trailing pattern to them to really get big. This is a new one from Proven Winners that I love. We have in hanging baskets too. It's called Tiara Blue. It's beautiful. Love how it grows. This is super cool. This is called Cosmic Violet. Look at the vibrance in that purple around that blackish color. So pretty. Now this is Master Young's version, basically of the giant pink from Proven Winners. This is called the XXL Super Surfina, and it's a little bit brighter pink color than the other one. That one's called Watermelon, that color. Cosmic Purple. This one is a new one here for us. This one is Frisky Violets. This one is a Crazy Tunia Pink Flamingo. This one we started growing a couple years ago and has become very, very popular. This is the Night Sky. Of course, the Black Mamba, Black Petunias are always really popular. Moonstruck. This is a new one for us. This one is called Ray Shadow. Arizona Sky. We have the Pink Sky petunias. The Mandeville petunias, which are always popular. And then these beautiful double purple ones on the end. So lots of those to choose from. Back here in this corner we have the Gold Dust Macedonia, and it kind of resembles maybe Bacopa, how it grows a little bit, but a little bit finer, but really forms a big mass and like a carpet of this green foliage with these little yellow flowers on it. This Nemesia is a beautiful plant. Comes out with nice variegated flowers to give you a really a unique look. We have it in various different colors here. This is Cherry Blast here with the white and the cherry color. We have the purple and the yellow combination. And then we have the Proven Winners one here. This is the lemon, which is the yellow by itself. And then this one here is another slightly different shade of like purple and pink here. Now this we have in hanging baskets as well as individual pots. This is different than the bedding plant lobelia. It's all one plant in this pot. You can't separate this out. This is one plant and it just spreads and gets really big and trails really long. So you only need one to go a long ways. This is Sky Blue. We have the Techno White. And then we also have the Dark Blue color. And you can see the growth pattern on the dark blue is slightly different than the sky blue. So that's true of a lot of flowers. It can be the same flower, but when you have one color versus another, they will still grow different quite often. But just the genetics of the plant, sometimes one color is just different than the other, even though they're the same plant. We have Scaevola. This is the color that we usually grow. This year we also added a pink one. It's kind of a pinkish purple color. It's really pretty. Over here we have Gerber daisies, and not much to see here yet because they're just starting to get their buds. Then we have these beautiful sunflowers. These are going to be like a dwarf sunflower that kind of spreads and branches out, so those are really pretty. Here, you go over. This is Angelona, which is a nice plant for the center, the back of a planter that'll get taller. Hummingbirds will also be attracted to this. And I have put this in a little bit of shade too. It needs some sun to flower, but the flowers last a really long time. It does prefer sun though for the most part of what it would prefer to have. But it can go in a lot of different settings besides what its tag says. This is verbena, but it doesn't look anything like your normal verbena. It's called Cake Pops. Kind of different. And we have several different salvias that are your really large salvia plants. We have the black and blue salvia that when the blossoms come out, the under part of it looks black, and then you have a true blue color that comes out. Most blue flowers are technically dark purple if you really look at the color, but there are a few of them that are truly a blue color, And the salvias do give you some of them that blue color. This one here is Skyscraper dark purple. And then we also have Hummingbird Falls salvia. And we first grew this last year. It has a really nice like spreading and even somewhat semi-trailing habit to it. The Velocity Blue is a beautiful true blue salvia color. You can see the blossoms starting to come out back here in that blue color. This is a really nice grower and just really thrives. I know Crystal had this in her planters last year and she said it did fantastic for her. And it's a pink Skyscraper.
And the hummingbirds love it.
Yeah, so that's a really nice one if you want some real nice height, because it does get real tall. And this year we did add, besides this pink one here, the one I showed you earlier that hadn't flowered yet is the purple version. Now here we have the our geranthemums and the golden butterfly color, beautiful yellow. We have the osteospermum daisies. These are one that will open up again when the sun is out and then close up at night. And not in bloom yet, but that's what the flower looks like. So we have a couple different colors of that. This is the Dacia, and we have that in this pretty little pink color. It kind of trails off the pot a little bit, but grows upright too. It's not going to be like a long trailer like a petunia. This is a creeping zinnia, San Vitellia. And we have the lawful spermum like what we had in that planter, that we have the bamboo hoop that it climbs up. We have that in individual plants here. And you can see as you look on this table, these are all reaching up, looking for something that it wants to climb right now, just in these little pots. And before too long, it'll try to find each other to climb around. This is James Britannia. It's kind of in the Bacopa family, so to speak. It looks a lot like Bacopa, and but it's yellow. Pretty hardy. It grows really well. I was very pleased with it when I grew it in my planters. Not last year, but the year before, the first year we had it. This one is another true blue color. Needs full sun. Will not do well if you don't give it sun. And short grower in a trailer. And this is Blew My Mind Evovolus. And then we have the Black-Eyed Susan vine that we have in those other planters. We sell in individual pots also. This is the Tangerine Slice Appeal from Proven Winners. And then we do have the yellow ones in the pots. And then we also have one that's new for us this year called Sunny Susie New Orange. Here's a bud that's just starting to come out. I think you can see the color from that.
Yeah, I can't reach it on back there.
So then we have some Kupfia here, not in bloom yet, but this is what it's going to look like. Watermelon wine is the color. Excited to see that one when it blooms. This is going to be Lobularia. It looks like Alyssum, but it's all one plant in here. It trails and gets really big and spreads. This can tolerate a fair amount of cold weather, and so you can see this, if it's well taken care of, lasting you all summer long, even late into the fall, because it can last sometimes past some of the first frost. So it can be a really nice grower. We have it in purple as well. It is a shedder though, so just keep that in mind, that wherever you put it, those little it's always getting all these little flowers on it, so make sure that it's not going to be in a spot that's going to be too messy for you. But very fragrant, very fragrant. Here we have Gara. We have a few of them in bloom back here. In some zones this is actually a perennial, but for us we get too cold here for it to really be a perennial for us for most years. Now this plant is brand new to us this year. And if I'm pronouncing it right, it looks to me like Iriosimon. And if you can look at this tag, you can see all the beautiful colors that come out within the head of this flower, and it's just starting to come out. So another one I'm really waiting to see when this comes out in full bloom here. Sun-loving plant. Super cool looking though in the pictures. So this is a straw flower here that we have in yellow. We have Cleone. And then Lantana. Lantana is a nice grower, gets nice height to it, really branching out. Has kind of a citrusy kind of smell to it, and the deer do not like it. So this is another one that sometimes if you plant it in with the planters, the deer will stay away from it, but you never know because deer will be crazy sometimes. Sometimes they'll eat things that they're not supposed to like or eat, but they typically do not like lantana at all. This is that trailing portulaca that we were talking about, the trailing moss rose, and so there's lots of different colors that you can get this in. It's almost succulent looking and just thrives in those hot, dry areas when you can't get something else to grow. This will grow.
Perfect for little window boxes.
Yeah, you have if you have smaller pots that you can't put a lot of dirt in and it's in a lot hotter space, I mean, they're going to be more drought tolerant for you, so you can put them in those types of applications. On this side here, we have the Calibrachoa. We have tons of different names that people have for them. They shorten it and call it Cali. They call it Millions Bells. They call it all kinds of stuff. But Super Bells from Proven Winners. But it's a petunia-like looking flower, smaller than typical petunias. Has very much a self-cleaning type of growth to it where the little flowers kind of dry up on it and the wind usually just kind of blows them off. From time to time you will still have to kind of pick at them just to clean them up like anything, but they are kind of more self-cleaning. You don't have to pinch them. However, with the petunias and with these, if they start to get long and leggy, just trim them back and it causes them to bush out and get new growth, and then it'll make it bushier and fuller when you do that. So don't be afraid to take the scissors at your plants because, you know, usually it only helps them when you do that. But lots of different colors, and over the years with this Calibrachoa, they have come out with so many cool new varieties with the different things that they do with the different plant genetics and stuff. Like, I mean, look at this. This is just gorgeous and so unique. That one's going to be the Holy Cow, Super Bells Holy Cow from Proven Winners. This is Evening Star. How they've put that little marking of a star in the center of it. Then we do have the solid colors of various different ones. They have doubles. This is a double yellow. This is Coralina, fairly new color, but is really pretty mixed in with other things. This nice, pretty coral color. Blue and pink. Great Punch. The Punch series ones always have a deeper center to them. This is Tropical Sunrise. So this is going to come out variegated within the same plant, where some of them might be a little darker and some are going to be lighter. So you'll have variation in that one. This is a Blue Moon Punch. Again, the deeper center. Double Redstone. I think this is cool. This is a new one for us for this year. This one is Holy Smokes. This is the kind of the purple version of Holy Cow. Tangerine Punch with that deeper burgundy center. And the regular yellow, which is always so vibrant. This is a newer white. It's called Over Easy, and the reason why is you have your yolk and the outer part, just like an egg. Mm-hmm. All right, so then we have Dreamsicle, and we have the lighter, paler yellow chiffon. So that's going to be what we have growing in the greenhouses this year. And in here we have our 12-inch hanging baskets. So lots of beautiful color growing in here. Lots of different choices to choose from. Pop a couple of them down here for you to see. As these get going, most of these varieties will have things in them that will trail usually at least 2 to 3 feet down the pot if you let them grow that long. If you like more of the orange colors, we've got the Mamba, Black Mamba growing in here with Dreamsicle and yellow, and also this Latte, which is the white with that blacker center veined in it. It's a Proven Winners one. This one over here is going to be mostly Vista petunias. The Vistas are the most aggressive of all the super petunias for Proven Winners. And these get huge. For those of you that go through the city of Bad Axe, the planters that we plant for the city of Bad Axe have the Vista super petunias in them. So as you can see how big they get there, they're big. So that'll be big and bold. Then we had some this year that we really wanted to try to make very colorful. So we have the pinks and the oranges and all mixed together. You can see this is lantana in the middle of it. The thing I love about lantana is, again, that variation within the same flower. There's not very many flowers that you get so many different colors within the same flower.
This was that sherbet basket yesterday that I did.
If you like more of the salmon-y colors, 2 colors. We've got this. This also has some lantana in the center.
It's beautiful.
And we'll be highlighting these too with pictures from from time to time, the different days too. So just giving you a little peek on the video of some of them. These are ones that we've been planting for years, but they always look elegant. That's the white bacopa with the red geraniums in the top and the vinca vine that comes down. So, and many, many more. We can't show you all the baskets. We would have this video would take forever. So just stop in and wander around. There's something different in all the greenhouses. So thanks for watching.
Do the hours.
Oh yes, our hours are Monday through Saturday, 9 to 6 p.m. And on Sunday, we're here from 12 to 5 on Sundays. So thanks for watching.